When my sister called asking if her son Jake could stay with us for the summer, I agreed without hesitation. My husband Michael had no objections either. Jake had just turned 20 and was taking summer courses at a local college. It made sense for him to stay with us rather than commute back and forth from his home 2 hours away. Besides, he was family, and I had always been close to him at first. Everything was normal. Jake was respectful, helped around the house, and got along well with Michael. He even took an interest in helping Michael with some home projects. They spent weekends fixing the backyard fence, repairing the deck, and even repainting the garage. But behind Michael's back, Jake started acting differently. When it was just the two of us, it started subtly, a lingering glance, an accidental touch that seemed to last a bit too long. At first, I thought I was imagining things, but soon it became undeniable. One evening, while Michael was out on a business trip, I was in the kitchen preparing dinner when Jake walked in. He leaned against the counter, watching me intently. "Aunt Sarah," he said in a tone that made my stomach tighten. "You look really nice tonight," I laughed nervously. "Thank you, Jake. That's sweet of you." He stepped closer, his eyes never leaving mine. "I mean it." "You're really beautiful," I swallowed hard. "Jake, that's inappropriate." He held up his hands in mock surrender. "I'm just being honest. Is that so wrong?" I turned back to the stove, trying to ignore the heat rising to my cheeks. This was crossing a line, and I had to put a stop to it. Over the next few weeks, his behavior continued to escalate. He would find reasons to brush against me, to touch my hand when passing me something, or to hold eye contact a little too long. I kept my distance, making sure we were never alone for too long. One afternoon, while Michael was in the garage fixing his car, I was folding laundry in the living room when Jake sat down beside me. He reached for a shirt, helping me fold. "You know," he said, his voice low, "if I weren't your nephew, I'd probably try to take you out on a date." I dropped the shirt, my heart pounding. "Jake, stop. This is wrong," he sighed, leaning back. "I can't help how I feel," asked Sarah. I stood up, gathering the laundry quickly. "This has to stop. You need to respect me, and you need to respect Michael." His expression hardened. "I do respect you. That's why I'm being honest." I shook my head, unable to believe what was happening that night. I couldn't sleep. I debated telling Michael, but worried about how it would affect our family. Would it cause a rift between my sister and me? Would Michael overreact? But the final straw came a few days later. I was in the backyard, hanging up some fresh laundry, when Jake approached. Michael was inside, watching a game on TV. Jake came up behind me, too close for comfort. "You can pretend all you want, but I know you feel something too," he whispered. I spun around, my patient, napping enough. "Jake, this has to stop now. If you ever say or do anything like this again, I will tell Michael and you will have to leave. Do you understand me?" He looked taken aback, then nodded slowly. I understand. From that day forward, he kept his distance. By the time summer ended, he barely spoke to me when he packed up his things and left for school. I felt a strange mix of relief and sadness. I never told Michael, and Jake never brought it up again. But sometimes when I'm alone, I wonder if I should have handled it differently. Some secrets weigh heavier than others, and this was one I had to carry alone.